Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and this is Charlie and welcome to It's a Charlie Thing. Today we have our third episode of our Christmas cracker and I'm going to hand over to Charlie to let you know what we have in store for you today.
So we've got our usual Christmas jokes. We've got our. We're going to do likes and dislikes first.
Yeah, we'll do likes and dislikes
Then we'll
and then,
do this week's theme is we're doing anticipated releases for 2026. Is that right?
yes. Yeah, that's correct. We have our anticipated releases for 2026. I have done well, I'm very excited to tell you about the books I found out about
I'm
anyway.
so excited. I'm so excited by the five books I picked. I'm so excited about, and that's not even a lie. I'm
Yeah,
genuinely excited.
this
And
year I actually went a bit different, but I'll talk about that later anyway. Sorry, go on.
Oh, that's fine. And then we've got talking about a weekly reading, and then we'll finish on a happy moment.
That all sounds good to me. So, since I think I went first last week, would you like to go first with your Christmas cracker joke?
Okay, I have been practicing, but I don't know whether it's one again because we do this all the time. I'm
Yeah.
not sure whether it's one that we've already done. So
Okay,
if we've done it, then I'm sorry.
that's fine.
And
I was really struggling to find one today.
it's getting harder and harder every year. That's why I said people in the comments, you just need to
Yeah,
recommend us some jokes, and then we'll just like pick them.
yeah, because we've done what, 3 years of this?
This is our fourth year.
No, that's what I'm saying. But we've done 3 full years. So
Okay. Oh,
that's
you mean this is our fourth year? Yeah, yeah.
four. We did eight, and then there was 1 year without the finale. So that's 11 episodes of two jokes each. No, not each, but two jokes each episode. That is 22 jokes I think we've told.
At
Plus
least
this.
because some weeks we tell multiple. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry. Go on.
Okay, so this is a non-read joke, and it's
Yeah.
quite crap, but I like it.
Okay, I've done the same thing, so let's go.
Okay, how does good King Wenceslas like his pizza?
I know this. I read this earlier.
Deep and crisp and even.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that earlier. Honestly, that was nearly my joke today.
I love it. And I think I said it wrong. It's deep pan crisp and even.
Yeah,
Deep,
it's deep pan, crisp and even. Yeah.
deep pan crisp
Yeah.
and even. Da,
Yeah.
da, 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 da.
I saw that one earlier.
I like
Yeah.
it though, and it does make me laugh. Not quite as much
Yeah.
as some of the other ones, but I do still like it.
Yeah.
Can I get a
Okay.
tick for it?
Oh yeah, you get a tick for that one. I mean, obviously you have to. We both nearly said that one. Um,
Okay, I'm excited now. How are you, Sean?
what did the wise men say after they offered up their gifts of gold and frankincense?
I don't know. What did the wise man say?
But
I'm a bit
wait,
scared.
there's myrrh.
I like that one. It reminds me of who's an Irish comedian that says that phrase.
Um, I
There
don't
was a
know.
famous growing up. I remember there was a famous Irish comedian that used to say that.
Hmm.
I'm sure there
Francesca
was. People
Rennie.
in the comments, if you remember or know the answer to that, say what it is.
Yeah, you'll definitely be revealing your age.
Yeah, I'm old anyway.
Yeah. Shall we
We're gonna
go
launch
down
into the likes and dislikes,
likes and dislikes for the week?
not
And this
dislikes,
week,
dislike.
yeah, one dislike. Well, technically, we'll have two dislikes, one between each of us. Um, but I'm getting really into the numbers today. I'm like, actually, Charlie, here's the data for this week.
All about the
Uh,
numbers today.
all about the numbers this week. Uh, that being said, like, share, and subscribe. Anyway, uh,
And thank you to every
this
single person that has liked, shared, and subscribed and commented.
okay, so I think we will dive straight into our likes and dislikes. And what is the topic of our likes and dislikes this week, Charlie?
It's a very exciting one for us, Charlies, because it's we're going to be talking about adaptations of A Christmas Carol. We
Yeah,
as Charlies love A Christmas Carol. We love all the adaptations of it, some more than others.
yeah,
Uh,
that was going to be my line. Again, this week I'm going to let you go first.
and it's Christmas Carol characters from these adaptations
Yeah,
specifically.
and so we're picking. We've got to pick out which one the other person dislikes.
Yeah, two likes, one
Yeah,
dislike.
yeah, and currently
You're
you've
in the
got both
lead.
wrong. I've got one right and one wrong. This week I do think could be a turning point.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, so let's go, Charlie.
Right, so my first one is The Ghost of Christmas Past, Muppets Christmas Carol.
Okay.
The second one is Tiny Tim from the 1970s, the one that's Albert Finney Christmas Carol
Okay.
one. Then you've got Jacob Marley from the 1984 Christmas Carol.
Oh no. Oh no.
Don't do that, you're making me laugh already. I don't know why I'm laughing at your fear. That's not very nice, is it?
Um,
I'm
oh
going to
my
comment
goodness.
whilst you're thinking about working that out. I just want to comment on the fact that I love this week's background. I just love all the Christmas trees. I just think it's
Oh
so much Christmas tree joy. I feel like we're in a Christmas tree forest.
yeah, I definitely prefer this to last week. It's got more color to it, I think.
Yeah, it's just really
Um,
nice. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So I don't know, and you'll find out why. But anyway, is it the Ghost of Christmas Past from Muppets Christmas Carol? No, which one was it then?
I threw that in there to kind of like as a
Yeah,
spanner because
yeah,
I don't really generally as a speaking I don't really like many of the Ghosts of Christmas Past on all the adaptations I've seen. For some reason, I don't really like many of them. And
yeah,
the little girl in the Muppets Christmas Carol is one that often creeps many people out. Over the years, like because of the Christmas Carol movie, obviously is one of my favorites.
yeah.
I just put like and comparing her like talking to some of the other ghosts, I just prefer her, and I just think if I was to pick a Christmas Carol of Christmas past, I'd pick her because the other ones creep me out too much. So yeah, that's why it's like no, it's not her.
Right, so just tell me because I've got it wrong.
Okay, yeah, you got it wrong. So I'll go through the other one. So the Marley from 1984. Um, I just love the Jacob Marley from the 1984 because there's a moment in the movie, if you have watched it, where at the beginning, obviously, because that's where he's in, and he has his head strapped up, and then he takes it off, and the dog goes, "Ugh."
Yeah,
And it just, I love that moment. I just think it's such a cool moment. I just love it, love it, love it. It's very, very creepy again, but I just really, really like it. And my, so therefore going on to the one I really, really hate. And
before you say this, before you do this, let me tell you my likes and dislikes because something's about to happen, Charlie, and you're going to be laughing.
okay,
So we're going to cut you off here. Here are my likes and dislikes.
okay.
Jacob Marley from the Albert Finney version,
Jacob
Tiny
Marley.
Tim from A Muppet's Christmas Carol,
Jacob Marley from the Albert Finney version.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tiny Tim from A Muppet's Christmas Carol, and Tiny Tim from Scrooge.
Wait there. Right. Right. Tiny Tim from the which one? Tiny Tim from
A Muppet's Christmas Carol,
yeah.
Jacob Marley from the Albert Finney version, and Tiny Tim from the Albert Finney version.
Oh my God, Charlie.
Yeah,
Well, okay, I'm gonna say I
yeah,
think you're the same as me then. I'm gonna say
we're
your
in the same.
dislike is the Albert Finney Tiny Tim for the
Yeah,
same right, and I'm gonna say like I want to know whether your reasoning is the same. So am I right first
yeah.
of all?
You're correct, which is really
And
annoying to me because I wish I just said that now.
because he doesn't look sick enough. He doesn't. He looks very, very jolly, which I know Tiny Tim is jolly, but he
Yeah,
doesn't look sick enough. He just doesn't look ill. And
yeah, this bit's
he
got a
doesn't
rosy
I
glow.
don't like his but the I do sorry to, I know he's a child actor, so I know that's quite
I don't
subjective,
care.
but
I
I
don't care.
don't
I
think
think
he
his
was well
performance.
cast. I don't
No,
think he was well cast at
yeah,
all.
yeah, not well cast, and like, um, oh my goodness, yeah, it's just like this
There's
sickeningly
nothing
sweet.
tiny about him.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, he's just like the what was supposed to be the almost perfect embodiment of what a child is, and really, he's sick in name only. Yeah, really do not like him, and just
And he
wish
looks very
I thought,
smug. Something
yeah,
about that Tiny Tim is very smug, and
yeah,
every time I see him, I get cross, Charlie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish I just thought, no, me and Charlie are in agreement on this one. Let's say the same one, and we would both be winners today. But unfortunately, we are now level pegging as
Yes,
we head
I'm
into
clawing it back into
our
the last
final
week.
episode. But also, like, I mean, like, I'm not happy about not getting this right, but
No.
also I'm really glad that we're in a sync for the first time in one of these likes and dislikes.
Yeah, this is
We
true.
both have the same answer.
We're not irked by one of the other's answers. Because I was gonna think if you were gonna say anything else, I was gonna be like, oh my God, if you said you
Yeah.
loved imagine if you said you loved it. That
No,
tiny
no, I
thing.
can't stand that character. As soon as you brought up this as a topic for us to discuss, I knew exactly, immediately, which character I was putting down as the one that I dislike. Yeah.
And I've got a question. So anyone watching, you can say which like your least favorite characters from the adaptations. You don't have to say the ones we mentioned, you can say other characters. So yeah, let us know in the comments like specifically to do with the Christmas Carol, characters that you love from like in the movies versions, and then ones you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled by that.
I think that's a good result, Charlie.
Might be a loss for me, but I am thrilled.
Yay!
Next Christmas, look out for the forget forget about the books that Charlie and Charlie both agree on. Next year, we just do our most hated characters.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should reverse it. Maybe we should do two hates, one like. That's quite negative. We're not really like that.
I like what I'm really enjoying right now is that you and I both decided one of the main aims of It's a Charlie thing is positivity,
Yes.
joy, that sort of thing, despite the fact that I'm a very negative person. And you're here like, yes, let's lean into the hatred.
I don't. No, I do actually. No, I do really. I really, really hate that tiny town. I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't. There's no liking about it. There is
No,
there's no redeeming features. I'm
no,
really sorry.
that are no redeeming features. It's one of the only adaptations where I'm like, Scrooge, keep your money. Keep your money. If he's still living in 50 years when the NHS starts, you'll be all right. Get him up there, honestly.
Just yeah.
In fact, one thing you could do, Scrooge, is some advice, me to you. Don't spend the money on nursing him back to health. Forget it. What you need to do is spend that money putting him on a ferry.
And a
Get
ferry.
him the
Why a
heck
ferry?
out of, to get him the heck out of London,
Why London?
because that's where he lives.
No, I know why
I
London.
want I want Scrooge to save everybody from Tiny Tim.
You want to
Get
save
him to
everybody from Tiny Tim?
yeah, get
That's
him to
quite
beg her off.
extreme, Charlie. Oh, you're only
Well,
a child.
you've got to think now. This child is already smug.
He is very smart.
Ebenezer Scrooge is about to take him under his wing.
Yeah.
He is one of the richest men around at the moment.
So you're saying this version, there's something very sinister about this version. He, in an alternative Christmas Carol reality, he goes off and he does nefarious deeds.
Yeah, I'm saying it now. Tiny Tim is Jack the Ripper.
I'm gonna have that as a
And
short.
he gets by because Ebenezer Scrooge is trying to save him. Save everybody, Scrooge.
But
You
not
have
not
a
Tiny Tim.
moral obligation to get him out of here.
Oh my
And
God.
now, after taking that
I'm
tangent,
not gonna feel
let us
sorry for him though, Charlie. I'm actually not. I actually don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel
no,
sorry for him.
no, but tangents, whatever.
No.
We're not going to let Tiny Tim derail this video. Let us talk about our anticipated releases for 2026. And this time we'll start with you, then come to me, back to you, come to me,
I'll
back
need
to
to
you.
get the blurbs up
Yo-yo,
as I
not
go.
yo-yo, tennis, ping pong.
So my first book is, and I've actually got this on my Kindle waiting for me to read from NetGalley. So if you've got NetGalley, you might be able to request it still. It's A Far-Flung Life by M.L. Stedmen. And she's the lady that wrote, I think she's a New Zealand author,
Yeah,
a Kiwi author. And I'm fairly certain, and she wrote The Light Between Oceans previously. I haven't read that book, but I have, the blurb of this is like, I'm telling you, it sounds really good. It's a chonkster. I know it's like 600 odd pages, so it is a chonkster. But I do love like a chonky book, as do you, Charlie. So I'm going to read you some of the things. So actually, maybe they're an Australian author because there's some things from Australia. Anyway, right. Outback Western Australia, 1958. For generations, the McBrides have lived on a remote sheep station, Meredith Downs. So it's a million arid acres, an ocean of land, where the where the weather is capricious, God and time still roams untamed. I think this is like a multi-generational family thing. So it says it's
Oh,
a family
really?
tale of belonging and compassion and hope. Far-flung life is about people trying to do their best, each for private reasons, seeking shelter from the storm, exploring the lives of a handful of isolated souls and the secrets they shield in order to survive. It's an epic novel, and it stands an epic novel stands as testament to the enduring power of love, which you know me.
You'd got me with the multi-generational.
I mean, I don't know if
You
it is
did you
multi-generational.
did
It might not
lose me
be.
with the well, okay, if it's not multi-generational, then I really don't care. But
It's
you
like a big.
really
It's an epic story.
yeah, but well, I do like an epic story, but I did kind of get lost with a story of enduring love. Um,
Yeah, and
but that's
isolated
okay.
souls, exploring the lives of a handful of isolated souls. That's quite you as well. Isolated.
Okay. Charlie, you're quite an isolated soul.
No,
Merry
I don't
Christmas.
mean you are an isolated soul. I mean,
No, like I feel like that's a book you're going to try and read early in the year.
I want to read it soon.
Knowing
I want to read it
you,
now.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
Um,
have any time now, but
yeah. We don't have any time. We're very busy, Charlies. Um, no, well, I
it
hope
could,
it suits your sensibilities. Let me know whether you'll think it's a Charlie book once you've read it.
and it's
Uh,
also could be a women's prize listee, which again
okay.
makes me very excited. I talk about the women's prize in every single video. I should link them.
Yeah, link them. Let's try and get a sponsorship. Um, so, so I'm going to start with the most obvious book that I'm looking forward to next year, and then move into the ones that I only found out about recently. And so the first one for me is the Whisperwicks, The Vanished Key by Jordan Lees, which is
Third one out this year.
the third and final book in the Whisperwicks series is due to be out in April. And it's dealing with the fallout from the second book and something we learned about in the second book. And there is a quest to discover this. And we are going to meet some of the creatures that we've only heard of so far. There is a cover on Amazon. I don't know whether that is the official final cover because last year when we were doing this video and I said about the second Whisperwicks book, that ended up not being the final cover for the UK edition.
I'm gonna
But
look. Should I put it on?
um,
I'll put it on the screen.
yeah, so it looks like it could be because it's very similar to the other two, but I don't know.
Yeah, it
Either
might
way,
change slightly.
this was the book like I most anticipated, and the others I found out about recently. They're all by authors I like, but this one in particular is currently the only one I've been like. It's a great middle grade series. I think it's got great potential. Whenever I read one of these, I wish that I wrote middle grade again. So, The
I
Whisperwicks.
don't know why I didn't put the Whisperers in my favorite of the year last year because obviously a lot of my reading was like my brain was quite jumbled because of all the
Yeah,
sadness and the stress. But I read the second book obviously, and it's like going to be it's going to be one of my favorites of the year. I like it even more than the first, which is like I loved that. I loved the first. The first was like a five stars.
yeah.
So how do you go from something that you already love, but the second one
Well,
I love even more?
I think that that's one of the things with a series, though. And sometimes I wonder whether it comes from the whole publication journey thing. I know nowadays, supposedly, publishers really want series fiction, especially when it comes to children's books. But when I was first starting out writing novels and trying to send these books off places, uh, a lot of the time it would say, even if you've planned it as a series, make sure it can stand alone because publishers might not take the risk of publishing a series. So if you say there's series potential there, if it does really well, you can obviously go on and write the other books. But if it doesn't, then at least the book has been wrapped up. And so the first book, I think,
Does that?
ends at a point where if there were no more books in the series, at least we've got some of the mythology and we've got a nice adventure story. Whereas because we now know it's going to be a trilogy, it's able to expand upon the world in the second book.
But even
And
with the second book, I still feel like it ends in a contained enough way that it still feels like the story in the individual second book is self-contained. But then there's, like you said, there's this lingering,
yeah,
which I love how it's done because I've read quite a few middle grade series, and they don't all do that. Sometimes they leave on too much. I was going to say leave too much of a cliffhanger, and then when you've got such a long wait, it just I feel like it just loses its momentum somehow. Like whereas like this, I feel like because it's all contained, I feel like I don't know. I just if anyone that's watching hasn't read the Whisperwicks, you just need to just read the Whisperwicks.
Yeah.
It's like
I think
amazing.
also there is a reliability to the book, similar to what we were talking about earlier off air. Um,
Yeah,
it starts in the normal world,
yeah,
we go into the other world, and then we come back, and there's almost this sense of like there's a structure to the stories that feels very reliable whilst also having this very gripping adventure. And they're so tense as well that well, I did feel like I need to finish reading this book now, even though it's for children. I think there's some darker aspects there, and I appreciate that it's not scared to go there.
yeah, 100%. I just think
Yeah.
it's such a good balance of plot, characters, themes. It's again, it's all the things that in like other fiction I enjoy, but obviously done super well in a middle grade format. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, everyone needs to read the Whisperwicks. Read the Whisperwicks. Read the Whisperwicks. Right. My second book is so I forgot to mention I will be putting you would guys have seen I would put the dates publication dates on screen. The first book, the publication date was the 5th of March next year, and the second I don't know what your publication date. Do you know the
Mine is April 26th.
April 26th? You might have already
Yeah.
said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So my next book is The Book of Birds, which is by Jackie Morris and Robert Macfarlane. I'm assuming the illustrations are by Jackie Morris, even though I don't know, maybe Jackie Morris has also got involved in the writing of it. And this is a non-fiction. It is out the 7th of May 2026. So I'm actually saying them in order, Charlie. You'd be proud of
Oh
me.
my.
I know you always do it in order. Charlie is so good at it. Does everything in order. So in case you don't know, Robert Macfarlane, he's a very prolific nature writer. Like he writes a lot of not nature non-fiction. I'm going to say is it? Well, yeah, it is nature because like he wrote about water and yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Although he does have a very small book that I might send to you, which is to do with, I think, is it The Art of Reading, it's called.
oh, I didn't know that.
It's just a short essay about, um, I think, the power of reading, really. I read it last month, and yeah, I'll just throw it in an envelope and send it your way.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, he's like and he also like he's just such a good. Yeah, you can never go
Yeah.
wrong with his books. Again, Robert Macfarlane is a very reliable writer for me. And the audiobooks, his most famous books is the Lost Words that they wrote together. So that's like one, and that's one of my favorite books. I've reread it probably the most out of all of the books I've ever reread because I read it with my daughter loads and loads and loads. It's like a tradition, even though now she's older, so she probably won't want to read it with me. I don't know. It's been a hot minute. Anyway, this one is so obviously by the title, it's about birds. So it says from the creators of the international best-selling award-winning multi-adapted phenomenon, The Lost Words, a dazzling celebration of this book. This book is a dazzling celebration of bird life in Britain, reimagining the classic field guide for a new generation of nature lovers, which I just love. And it says it's got lyrical precision and playfulness, and he apparently said Robert Macfarlane evokes each bird's habits and habitats. And it says that it's a love letter to the splendors and mysteries of bird life. There's various other things written in the blurb, so I will obviously, like I said, I'll link all of the books we're mentioning in the description, so you can check them out and possibly pre-order them if you'd like. But yeah, I'm so excited for it. I think this might actually be one I pre-order as well because I'm just like, I'm so incredibly excited. So yeah, they're always
Yeah.
favourites.
Yeah, again, last week I told you all to support your libraries, and I went on a bit of a rant about that. This week, I'm going to tell you pre-order books. Pre-order books from your favorite authors. If you can, get them sent to your local bookshops as well, because one, it's going to help your authors. It's going to make people recognize that they are that people want those books in your local area. And pre-orders really just help an author like nobody's business. And also sometimes you can even go into your libraries, bringing it back here, you can also go into your libraries and sometimes they will have the list of books they're going to be able to order next year. See if that book's on there, order it from there if you want to support your library and you want to support an author at the same time.
Go for it.
Uh, yeah, no, these are
What?
always very. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say about how
Okay.
these are all very well put together books, and they're very beautiful objects to look at as well, and make
Yeah, they're
excellent. Yeah.
yeah,
So if you have a
definitely. There's
burglar
ones
in
that
your
you can
life,
go over
this
again and
sounds
again.
yeah,
And the audiobooks are particularly beautiful. One of my friends, lovely Jack again, she bought me the audiobook of The Lost Words. I'd never actually thought to listen to it. And it's like a meditation almost because you just sit and listen and there's this bird song in it. It's just and there's all, like other nature sounds, and it's just it's just beautiful that in itself. So I know that the audiobook of this will probably be the same. So yeah.
yeah. Well,
What's your
my
next one, Charlie?
my next book, I have to read the title for this one. My next book is Like a Cat Loves a Bird by James Bailey, and this is a new biography of Muriel Spark. I follow the writer on Instagram, which is how I found out about this, and I've been looking forward to it since they announced it. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Muriel Spark. I haven't yet read the biography of Elizabeth Taylor that I got, but I am enjoying going and learning about the lives of these female writers. So I've done it with Virginia Woolf, Rosamund Lemon, and uh, Sylvia Townsend Warner with the book Rural Hours earlier this year, and that made me want to explore their works more. And something that I found with these biographies is it's interesting to read the biography and then go and read the work that's mentioned there and recognize what might have influenced and inspired certain aspects of a book. Uh, and so, yeah, like I say, I followed this writer for a while and I'm very much just looking forward to this biography. I don't know much about Muriel Spark, but I've read a lot of her work and I'm interested in just seeing what her life was like.
Biographies are a good way. You always say about that, don't you? Like,
Yeah, although I am also a fan of a memoir, but in terms of memoir, I do always say that I prefer a memoir that might be from an everyday person who's had some sort of different thing going on in their life that's completely different from my own experience. And I prefer a memoir that's written in a somewhat, a fictional sense. They use fictional writing techniques to create this very good non-fiction work. And I think Rural Hours did that. Biographies are a bit different in the way that they're told, but again, we will see.
so my next book is John of John by Douglas Stewart. So this is a very anticipated release because Douglas Stewart, for those of you that don't know, that have been living under a rock, because I feel like if you don't know, this is like crazy.
Wow.
Um, no, because it's like one of my favorite books, Shuggy Bain. So
Yeah, it's one of your favorite books, but these people might not know that.
Shuggy
Accuses him
Bain
of
is like
living under a rock like Patrick Starr.
John of John is his going to be his latest book out on the 21st of John of John has it says John of John has emotional range and sense of sympathy of his earlier books, but in this book is special. It has an urgency and immediacy, a brilliant sense of place, the drama of a fierce emotion repressed. And so that's a blurb by Colm Tobin. And then Anne Patchett says to read John of John is to move to the Isle of Harris and take up residence in the family croft. The novel is so immersive, so encompassing that I felt like I was living it. So it said that, and she says, Anne Patchett says that Douglas Stewart has written something brilliant and rare. But yeah,
Oh, oh, that's annoying.
yeah, and it says out of money with the too little to show for his art school education, John Cullum MacLeod takes his ferry home to the island of Harris to find that not much has changed except for him. It says it's the heartbreaking young story of a man's return home and how the bonds of family life are torn by the weight of expectation. And then it says it confirms Douglas Stewart as one of the of great British writers of working today. So to me, I'm so
To me, I'm
excited.
just like,
I'm so
yeah,
excited.
I'm really not. It was the brilliant and rare, and it's like, um, the acting like this tale is anything new. Like, yes, most stories have been written before, and it's all in the writing of them. And if it's splendid writing, great. Love that for you. But oh no, I'll I'll
I'm so excited.
I'll
I'm
see what
so
people's opinion is at the time. But yeah, basic bitch is not wanted. I do not care.
definitely not basic. And sometimes the simple things done well is
Yeah,
like the best stories.
that's true. And if it's done well, then great. And I won't eat my hat, but I'll eat my words.
Have you
Uh,
read Shuggy Bane?
I did read Shuggy Bane.
Good or bad to you?
I don't think that it was doing anything new.
I loved it. It's like one of my favorite books. It's like one of my
Yeah,
favorite books.
you did. I unhauled it.
Yeah, you did. I'm sure you did. This is classic to us. Anyway, what's
Uh,
your next book, Charlie?
Mine is Murder at the Spirit Lounge, which is by Jess Kidd and also comes out in May 2026 and is the sequel to Murder at Gull's Nest following Nora Breen, the former nun. Well, I don't know if she's a former nun. I'm not sure where we left things at the end of the last book, but she has inveigled herself into the community that we saw in the first book, and this is a continuation of that story with another murder mystery for her to solve.
Oh, that sounds good. I need to read the first one.
You really do.
Is it
You
best on
really,
audio?
really do.
Can I just, is the audio good?
I haven't heard it on audiobook. You could get a sample and have a go at that. But I liked Jess Kidd's earlier works anyway, and I think it really works well in the telling of a murder mystery. I'm loath to call them cozy mysteries. I'm loath to say that they are similar to other mysteries out there, but the grim humor that she has really contributes well to the telling of these
I feel
stories.
like her books seem, although I have not read them, I'm sure they seem like they're perfect in like these autumn, winter months. Or did you read it in the summer?
I read this one in winter. I think I read it at the start. I read Murder at Gull's Nest in 2025 at the beginning of the year, but I feel like the Hoarder and himself. I read one in summer. I don't know. I just really like Jess Kidd's writing
That's
and will
good.
continue to recommend her almost grotesque gothic tales until the cows come home. Unless, I don't want them coming to this home because I have no room to accommodate them. But if they just go a few miles down the road, they can stay with my sister.
She's got a big house.
No, she keeps cows. That's,
No, you go, that's go.
yeah, that was quite.
Not gonna have the cows like trotting around in the house. No, she wouldn't want that.
Yeah, all that, all the new house and everything. Yeah, let's just pack a few cows in here. You got
No,
some
they're not
bovine.
nice guests, are they? I think they're quite
No,
messy.
they do make a little bit of a mess to cows. Anyway, love that tangent. Where are we going next?
So, Land by Maggie O'Farrell, and it's out on
Okay.
the 2nd of June, 2026. I'm gonna just get the verb up.
Yep.
I feel like this is like I feel like this book, because it's a Maggie O'Farrell, I feel like this will be on quite a lot of people's lists. So I nearly
Yeah.
didn't put it on there for that reason. But do you know what? Like when she does it good, like the Maggie O'Farrell books I've loved, I love like with my whole entire being and everything about it. So yeah,
Yeah.
so the ones I love, I love. The ones I don't love, right. So we'll see. Anyway. So we've got on the blurb bit, this is a spellbinding story of separation, longing, recovery, and the survival. I feel like this is like similar to all of the ones that I've picked up in this. A lot of this is a family
Charlie is the
tragedy.
type.
Yeah, so a spellbinding story of separation, longing, recovery, and survival, and as a family makes a new home in the aftermath of a tragedy. This is like Charlie catnip. So yeah, this
Yeah.
Charlie. So yeah, and
Thank
it's
you,
I
Charlie.
don't really need to say too much more than that because it's a Maggie Farrell. So do we really need to know any more than that?
Well, I don't, but that's because I don't care.
Charlie. It
Well,
also says
no.
about ancient woodland and persistent ghosts. It says land is a story of buried treasure, overlapping lives, ancient woodland, persistent ghosts, and particularly a loyal dog, which hopefully the dog doesn't die.
I have read a lot of Maggie O'Farrell now. That's a lie. I've read multiple Maggie O'Farrell books, and out of all of the Maggie O'Farrell books that I've read, I have liked one,
Which one?
and Hamnet.
Oh, I love that.
And Then you read another one by Maggie O'Farrell and told me not to bother with it.
Don't say that.
And
No, I did
so,
like the book. It's just the ending. I think it irked me.
so my opinion of Maggie O'Farrell is she's a writer for other people. If I was interested in it enough in the blurb of one of her books, then I would read them. But I am not like, yes, I need to pre-order this. I need to run down to the bookshop and get this.
Okay.
She's not a Charlie and Charlie author. She's a you Charlie author.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for you.
What's your next? Yeah, good. What's your next one? Won't be getting Maggie O'Farrell on the podcast then. Okay, go on then. Not Douglas Stewart, not Maggie O'Farrell.
Yeah,
All
I'm
my
just
favourite
all
people.
of these really big names, and I'm just here like,
I mean,
nah,
they won't
mate.
really.
My next book, I only found out about in looking for books for this video because I decided what I was going to do was look up books from authors I like and see whether they had anything coming out in the next year. And so I looked up Matson Taylor, who wrote two of my favorite books, The Miseducation of Evie Epworth and All About Evie. And according to the internet, there is no cover for this book yet. I've seen no announcements about this book. I don't even know how secure the title of this book is. But Waterstones has it listed, and the publisher's website has it listed, and that book is Roman Mornings and is supposedly coming out in July. And from what I remember about the blurb, it's a bit of a story with a dual timeline, one in the late 1800s and one in June 1976, again, the year of the heat wave. And
But you do like a book set in that time.
apparently there is going to be a nice touch of comedy in there and stuff about Roman history and that sort of thing. I'm not sure because, as I say, there isn't really much about this book available. I've not seen any announcements or anything. I know that when Matson was doing interviews about this book, about his second book years ago, he referenced that the next book wouldn't be an Evie Epworth book, and it has been quite a long time since that second book came out. So I'm hopeful that we've got another title coming from this author. I'm hoping that it's not just one of these glitches and one of those sorts of things. But fingers crossed, we're going to see this book next year, and this Charlie will be mildly happy about that.
Seems like a plan. Seems good. Seems good. Good, 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 good. Right. So my last, but not least, in fact, actually, this is probably my most anticipated release of
Okay.
2026, and arguably my most anticipated release. Just like I'm so I cannot stress how excited I am for this book. And when you
Okay.
hear what the author is, you'll understand why. The book that I'm the most excited for is
Yeah.
White Spaces by Elvin James Mensah. Now, Elvin James Mensah is the author of Small Joys, which
Yeah.
is like one of my favorite books. Probably if I was to pick one book that I could, oh, it's just like one of my favorite books. I just love that book so much. Like every time I read it, because there's like obviously there's a character. It's got my favorite character in. It's definitely got my favorite character in of all time, Muddy, and obviously I love Harley. Harley is also main characters. The main two main characters. I'm not going to talk about that book anymore because I feel like I literally have talked about that book to death. I literally have spoken about that book a lot. But if you haven't read Small Joys again, make sure you read Small Joys. I'll put that in the description. But yeah, so this is his Elvin's second book, and it's out the 18th of June next year. It's due to be out. It might change. And it says this is a hymn to brotherly love, and its transcendent power to heal. So I'm going to read you the blurb because I want everyone to get super excited for this book. So, to the outside world, Teddy seems to have things sorted. A senior editor at a music magazine before turning 30. He's smart, practical, and dependable. The one his friends turn to for support when things become complicated. His old school friends Kane and Nathan have their fair share of issues. Kane is trying to get his music career back on track while struggling to come to terms with his sexuality, and Nathan is living with his parents while working 3 jobs to try and help bring up his son. For none of them, however, things are more complicated than they are for Birch. Wayward, unpredictable, and impossible not to love, Birch veers from impulsive impulsively from one calamity to the next. But whenever things get really bad, one person is always there to pick up the pieces. Anyway, it's set in London of 2012 with a supporting cast of characters and extraordinary characters. White Spaces tells when Mensah's inimitable, how do you say that word? Inimitable.
Inimitable.
Yeah, that one. Warmth and humour. The story of four young black men coming of age in a city on the cusp of change. It poses challenging questions about the way we are and the world we are creating, while holding on to the powerful belief in the strength of love and friendship to overcome the worst that life can throw at us. And it says it's hilarious, heartbreaking, and hopeful. And it says that it cements Mensah's reputation as one of the most exciting young British novelists working today, which I 100% agree with. So I cannot wait for this book. Like, yeah, I'm so excited. And I just, yeah, he just writes characters so brilliantly, and the stories are always really good. And like as with the Small Joys, the friendships in that book, I just love with my whole entire being. So this, I feel like, is going to be along that lines, the front of the friendship thing. But yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
And that's
I
another one I'm
have,
definitely pre-ordering.
yeah, no, you should. And I completely understand it. I still haven't read that first one.
So good.
And the part of me is because you like it so much.
So if you,
And
yeah, if you disliked it, I couldn't
I
talk to you
would
again.
hate to dislike it and then be like, I really don't get why. So I'm just kind of like, ooh, ooh, just letting Charlie have it. Like, here's a
Every
favorite.
single
Let's.
person I've recommended it to has liked it. I loved it.
I'd liked it.
Every single person. I've recommended it to a lot of people. Every single person. And
Okay.
there's also in Small Joys, there's a in the paperback edition of Small Joys, there's a Christmas short story. So you should all be getting yourself a copy of it and reading the short story. Actually, I'm going to reread that short story this month.
Like I say, I just fear reading it and not liking it.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell me what
but
your last one is.
coincidentally, my final book is also from one of my favorite writers, and I, I didn't actually know about this book's publication. So similar to Matson Taylor, I'm hopeful that this book is going to come out, but like again, no cover image, but the writer has said a lot about this book on their website, so hopefully it is happening. And that is Sleepers in the Snow by Joanne Harris, which is due to release in October 2026.
Ooh, that is a hot minute away.
And again, only found out about this book last week, but from what I can remember, it's dealing with a man in this house and mysterious objects, possible ghostly goings on. Apparently, almost veers towards folk horror in the way that it's written, inspired by some rather sad goings on in the author's life. But if we can leave a link in the description to the author's page about this, there's a great Q&A section in there that describes how they came to write this book and what the book's about. And it just, there is part of it that sounds really perfect for that autumnal into winter time of year that is coming out. And I am very much looking forward to it. As you know, Joanne Harris is one of my favorite authors, an author who I regularly acquire their books and writes a whole breadth of genre and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
We had Joanne Harris on your anticipated releases last year.
Yeah.
Have you got to
Well,
the end yet?
I haven't got to the book yet, no, but I did actually include it on my list of books that I want to read in December. But as you know, I make a huge December TBR every year and regularly forget how busy I get. So, like, I was looking at this week is the second week in a row where I've got something on most days. So I had another Christmas do yesterday. Tomorrow I've got another Christmas do. And
Yeah,
I've got work as well. So
got a lot.
hopefully, I think I might be free on the 19th of December. But then that's probably going to be the day that I'm there, like trying to get all of my Christmas presents wrapped. So I ain't making any big plans. I'm just looking forward to all of the Joanne Harris. There were, I don't know how to describe this sort of author. You have an author that you find really reliable and you want to read everything they've written, but unlike Kate Atkinson, unlike Elizabeth Taylor, unlike those authors, I don't need to read everything by them right now.
You're trying
I
to
like
savor it.
I like having a book there where I think I
I
can
can
just pick that up
understand.
off the shelf and I know that I'm going to enjoy my time with it.
No, I can completely understand that. I have that like. Well, I'll get onto that when we talk about our currently reading.
Okay.
So, then let us know any anticipated releases that you've got for next year. Any books you're super excited for. Us know your thoughts on the ones we've picked. Anything you want to say, just say in the comments. Because we love your comments so much.
Yeah.
Right.
And also just to say, if you know of any titles that you would recommend to either me or Charlie, you could let
Yeah,
us know about them as well.
yeah,
Especially
yeah.
this Charlie, because I so rarely know what's going on in the bookish world. So
We love
if you
ourselves
know
a
of anything that might
recommendation.
suit my sensibilities,
Yeah.
feel free to dump it in the comments.
Well, dump sounds a bit.
Well, I couldn't think of another word.
Oh, it's rare for you.
Wow, that's
It's
offensive.
because
Fine,
you're a
fine.
wordsmith.
If you can think of any books that would suit my sensibilities, then please feel free to leave them in the comments, to allow them to exist in the comments, to permeate the comments, pervade the comments. Let me know what word you would like me to use.
Very Shakespearean. Right. Moving swiftly on. Should we go and talk about our currently reading? You can go first this time.
Okay, so as we know, when last we spoke, I was into my fourth reread of Emotionally Weird by Kate Atkinson of the year. I finished that again, had a great time, fantastic time. What I always forget about that book is it's very slow and meandering for the first 280 pages, I would say. And I know that as I regularly talk about, a lot of people who like Kate Atkinson don't like this book. But I always forget that at that page 280 mark, it suddenly just ramps up the pace and loads of things start happening. And then it's like resolution, book's over. I really enjoy that book, but I always forget that bit with the end of it. And it's one of those things where, similar to what you were saying with with the book Small Joys, really enjoying that character. I just really enjoy the main character in this, and it just feels
It's a treat.
like a conversation between myself and the character. I really enjoy returning and just obviously nothing changes about what's gone on in her life since I read it last, but I just enjoy spending time with the character in there. So then after that, I read Kate Atkinson's collection of three festive short stories, which is just called Festive Spirit. And unfortunately, I did not care for any of the stories in this collection, but I often feel like that with Kate Atkinson. I don't know whether she works in the short form
But that's okay.
because she often has very big ideas, and I just feel like they can't be contained.
Translated. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I reread Northern Lights by Philip Pullman.
Did you finish it?
Yeah. So
Oh,
I had actually started it at some point, and I was a significant portion of the way through, and I thought, let's just get it finished. And so I did that, and I, again, this is an odd one for me because I wasn't one of these people who read it as a child and really enjoyed it. I can remember trying to get into it. I can remember my friends really enjoying it. But for me, it's become a series that I actually appreciate more as an adult. And I don't ever, I don't think about this book often, but when I get a hankering to read it, I very much enjoy my time returning to that world. And also, I think there's something in the way that Philip Pullman does themes and stories and his work in this fantastical alternate reality that I quite like. And maybe one day I'll get to the Book of Dust. And one thing I am going to try this time, I think, is actually reading The Subtle Knife and The Amber Spyglass. I've never read them before. I've only ever listened to them. And I want to see. how
a
I'll
different
feel
experience.
actually reading the physical tome. So yeah, so reading wise, it's been very enjoyable. I think also, as I was saying, uh, at some point this month, short stories I go to when I don't have much time. A reread is something I go to when I don't have much time because I know what's going to happen, so it doesn't feel like like not what's the word I'm looking for?
Really? Indulgent.
No, when you're like being mean to something, not dismissing.
Yeah.
Um, but I just I feel unkind to a book if I don't give it my full attention. Whereas if I've already read the book before, I feel like we already know each other. We
Yeah, I
don't-
know what
we-
you mean. Yeah. You don't have that
we-
guard up with it.
yeah. So I know that when I get to it, it's going to be fine. So yeah. Anyway, what about your reading, Charlie?
Um, so yeah, I actually read The Children Who Lived in a Barn. I finished it. Right, the premise of this book is that this is a children's like classic, and it's like set in the 1950s, and this specific Persephone has a blurb by Jacqueline Wilson, who's obviously the famous children's author, like another children's author. And yeah, so it's set in the 1950s. And in the little blurby thing that like Jacqueline, in the preface that Jacqueline Wilson does, she like likens this book to like a Home Alone, like set in the 1950s. So what happens is these five children, the parents decide to go off to the continent to like try and like rescue the grandma because she's become very ill. So they think it's a good idea, which on a whole other levels is baffling. But obviously, if it's set in the 1950s, you've got to bear that in mind. Yeah. Um, so they just leave the kids, and the eldest of which is 13, and the youngest of which is 7. And so then it's like basically, obviously, the title of The Children Who Lived in a Barn. They obviously quite quickly end up living in a barn, and it's how they cope with like because basically they're faced with the realities of having to sort of like try and grow up and because it's like I said set in the time that it is, it's sort of how they're supported by their community, what they do like it's yeah, it's like that. So but it's obviously done in a sort of very like children's adventure-y way, and it's very, very odd because it's like some of the things that happen. I'm just because obviously it's like a classic, so it's like I was reading it thinking a lot of this is very, very odd, very, very bizarre, and like how the community reacts to them being left is very, very bizarre. And then also, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the
Yeah.
ending it's just so crazy. So it's not crazy, but like it's
I,
just
I think I
yeah,
think that that's the way it was with
yeah,
children's adventure stories of that time, though, because when I think about Enid Blyton and I think about
it's very
those
that.
titles, even some fiction from the 90s, there was a preoccupation in children's fiction with obviously kids don't really want to read about the parents, so how are we going to remove the parents from this narrative?
Yeah,
And you know, it works in the Whisperwicks and it works in Narnia because, well, Narnia obviously has the evacuation thing, but you also have them going to an alternative dimension. When they're set in the real world, how are we going to get
there's
rid of
something
them?
more jarring
So
about it.
it's like, the famous spy would beggar off and do things without parents. So yeah, so it from what you've said, it seems like a really odd way, but also there's part of me that's interested to read it just so that I can see
I really enjoyed it.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
I really
No.
enjoyed it, but like it's wrapped up like arguably too quickly and in a very like crate. Like I said, it's kind of like
Yeah.
very like baffling, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I basically I started reading it on Saturday and I finished reading it Sunday. I didn't really want to put it down actually, and I haven't really felt like that. I don't feel like that very often, very much with physical form,
Yeah.
and like my attention span isn't always there, and I don't really have time. Like I said, I don't have time and stuff. But no, I really enjoyed it, and it's something very like because it's like the time it's setting, it really just puts you right in there, and it's like set sort of over the sort of the summery, the warmer months as well. So um, sort of spring to over the summer. So yeah, it's just something something kind of like enchanting about it in a very odd way. I
Yeah.
will say it is very odd, but yeah.
Odd and enchanting. The best blurb we are going to receive from Charlie this year.
But also, I also started listening to, which I already told you this. I started listening to the book that Charlie picked for me, which is Some Like It Cold by Elle McNichol, and yeah, I'm actually surprisingly really enjoying it. I don't mean surprisingly because I love Elle McNichol. She's like arguably again one of
It's
my favorite
more
authors.
the genre.
I didn't know that I was in the mood for it, being honest, when I start
Right.
before I started it. Not because again I love all her books, but like quickly, like listening to it as something again, it's something very escapist, and because it's not something I read all the time, I'm actually, like I said, I'm really, really enjoying it. And yeah, the character again, her characters are always. There's, I love how Elle McNichol writes characters. I'm a big character person, you know this about me, as I've already said today. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
so
I'm currently reading.
yeah, that's you're reading that one. My plan is to read the book you chose for me this week, so we're doing
I
well.
also I also did pick up some newer fictions before we got into our happy moments. So I picked up two books when I was out, one in the library and one in the like when I was out shopping yesterday.
Yeah.
So the book I picked up from the library is Vame by John Fossey, which is John Fossey, for the those of you that don't know, is I'm sure you all do know, was the winner of the Nobel Literature. Was it last year? No, it was the year before. And this is his one of I think it's like one of his most recent like short pieces of fiction. Yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about it. It says it says Jack Gear has come from Vame to the big city, Fjorgen, on his wooden boat, the Elaine, named after a long lost love of teenage years. He intends to buy a needle and thread to sew a button, but he is cheated twice. I don't really know, but I'm going to read it. I'm
I
hoping to
was,
read it.
I was looking up his books to see whether I'd read him before, and it's just one where I recognize the name. I've not read him.
Yeah, he wrote a sept. He's most famous for his septology, which
Yeah.
I didn't really want to try that because that's quite a commitment. So I thought, well, as this is like very short, it's not even, it's like 100 pages. So I feel like it's one to sort of a good one to sample. So
Yeah.
that's one of my like plans. And then this is another one I picked up, which is Advent by Jana Janesen. And I showed you the blurb of this yesterday. It's like a man like with this wild dog and his ram by his side, and he's going on a winter's night. It says every winter in the days leading up to Christmas, Benedict walks into the snowy mountains of Iceland to rescue his sheep lost in the blizzards. So it's very like wintry and again very short. So that's another plan for this week, along with two other things. Just quickly, I
Wow.
promise you I'll stop.
We're reaching the point where I don't know about these things.
Ah, yeah, the poems, the Carol and Duffy poems that I've got the
Yeah.
bind up that I read similar to you with
Nigel Slater's
yeah,
Christmas
I
Chronicles.
love
Yeah.
reading Carol Ann Duffy. I love reading poetry actually. I read poetry quite a lot in the winter months. And yeah, so I've got some the Christmas poems, Carol Ann Duffy's Christmas poems, which I'm very excited for. And this is another one, an annual read of children's picture book, The Grumpus, which I'm so excited to reread this. This is like one of my favorite children's Christmas stories of recent years. And yeah, so just got the most coolest illustrations and a grumpy, it's like grumpy sunshine kind of story. So Charlie, what's your happy moment of this week? We're going
Right.
to finish on our
So
happy moments.
yeah. So like last week and the week before, it was all very community based. And I was going to do that again this week with some things that we've planned around. It's a Charlie thing for 2026, and we've been having a great week in terms of that. And then I decided no, beggar the community this week because my car passed its MOT.
Yes.
If people, well, I don't know that many people know this. Charlie knows this, but I got this car earlier this year, and within 3 days, somebody had gone past me too quickly and knocked the wing mirror off. So I immediately had a huge bill there.
Yeah.
Then I was taking my dad to an appointment, and I got into the car and I took the dog for a walk. And then when I got back, somebody had rammed into the side of me at some point, I don't know when, and driven off without telling me. And there's a huge scrape and dent down the side of it. And then whilst we were away in Bath and Bristol, the cover of the wing mirror got knocked off and broken and is currently adhered on. But I worried that due to all these things, it was just getting to be a sign from somewhere that it was not going to pass its MOT. and that was not something that I wanted to happen. I didn't want to have extra expenses at this time of year. I
Nobody
don't think
does.
anybody does.
Nobody does.
So it came back, it had passed. It has a few issues that I have to solve before the next MOT, but it was one of those where it happened. I saw that notice, and he's running through all these things that are wrong with the car, and I'm listening, but I'm also thinking, that's next year's problem. That's 2026's problem. Christmas can happen now. That's out the way. No more anxieties about this darn car. I'm going home. Do what you like next year. Now, the car's passed. I can settle down, get me a cup of tea, get me a glühwein. I'm going home.
Yeah, quite right. Yay, I'm really happy. I was really happy. Charlie obviously told me about this last week, but because I was very like scared for you. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So, yeah. Beggar the community, me car's all right.
and on that note,
Yeah, on that note, Charlie, what was
um,
your happy moment of the week?
I have shared this with you, but I'm going to share it with our viewers. Or kind of. Yeah, so we had some visitors to the library last week, and they just it was just the most joyful thing. And they don't come every week, but they travelled in from like about half an hour away, and it just honestly it just filled my heart. Because I do Matson Rhyme for those of you that don't know. On my I do two groups on a Monday. I do a Monday group and a Thursday group, and this was on my Thursday group last week, the children, and yeah, and it was just yeah, it just filled my heart with happiness. I read them an extra story at the end, and they were laughing, and it was just I got some nice feedback, which is always nice to hear, from both the people that was in the groups, and then also my library, like fellow library people. And not that that really makes any difference, but it is nice to have nice feedback. But the biggest thing was actually just the kids' reactions. That was the thing that filled my heart with happiness the most. Yeah, and it was just so joyful, and it was like a special thing because I love doing my Thursday group anyway. Charlie always knows this, but yeah, so yeah, I feel like it's like one of those special memories, like it'd be one of my favorite things that like it's not cheesy to say. It's like one of my because it's but yeah, it's like yeah,
Well, honestly, if it was cheesy, it would be suitable for you. You're a very, very cheesy
I
person.
am very cheesy.
You are practically cheddar at this point.
I'm happy to be cheddar as long as it's
Yeah,
good quality cheddar.
yeah, yeah. You could be a good quality cheddar, a nice vintage, extra mature cheddar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely extra mature.
Oh, with an Ovis biscuit. Oh,
I don't cheddar and Hovis biscuits do taste nice. No.
it's the best combination.
Well, I don't know.
What for me it is, uh, you know, a dry sweet cracker with some old cheese.
That's nice. Are you the dry sweet cracker and I'm the old cheese then? So this is like another.
No, I was going to compare us to cheeses, and I was going to say that you were like a reliable cheddar and I was a gorgonzola, a very acquired taste. But wow, dry sweet cracker and mature cheddar. And on that note, ta-ra.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yep,
Let us
bye.
know your happy. Let us know your happy moments in the description. This
In the description. Yeah,
is what
it's
happens when I
time
get
for the
laughing too much.
the volunteers. It's time for the volunteers to take over. No.
Let us know your happy moments in the comments. I'm gonna say I'm super excited for our last week because we've got some really. You have to come and tune for next week. We've got some really cool things, which I'm very
Yeah, I
excited
am
about.
so looking forward to this being over.
No, I know it's not going to be over because we're doing a podcast next year, Charlie. This is going to go on and on and on.
Yeah, no, I am rather excited about our what we have in store for the final week of Charlie and Charlie's Christmas
It's going to be
Cracker coming
arguably
to
the
you
most
all.
Charliest week next week.
It's going to be the first festive Christmas cracker that goes out on Christmas Eve.
That's crazy.
And that's all we got to say about that. Because frankly, we're done
Oh,
with you.
emoji, trees.
Ah, I keep trying to get out of here and she keeps coming up with something more.
Sorry, I was
Yes.
just going to say if you stayed for this long, put a Christmas tree in the description. And if you stayed for this long, put a Christmas tree in the comments. Have you
Yeah.
got any other emojis you want to add?
No, I think, although, uh, I'm partial to a poinsettia, but I don't know if they do an emoji of that.
I don't know. If you want to put that, you can. Okay then.
Okay,
So thank you for
goodbye.
watching. Goodbye.
And get me out of here.